Everyone, welcome to the Hammer. Today we are talking about... What are we talking about? We're talking about Games Workshop trade policy, rumors for Eldar Tyranids, new paints, and some other things. As always, I'm Fox. I have a lovely backdrop now, and I have my army kind of hanging out in the background. You probably can't see that too well. But, yeah, so then we got next person. He's the lead painter of Toxic Painting. He is the co-host of Battle Bros, joining me as always. And we gotta stop giving him Battlestar Galactica spoilers. It's Toxic. How you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yeah.
And then also joining us for probably what this is your fifth show.
I believe it's my fifth one. Yeah.
He's one of the doctors. I don't know, but it's Seb. Yeah.
Yeah. How are we doing, guys? Excited? More rumors and hopefully not just a bit sad today.
Yep. All right. So I guess let's just dive right into it. So we're going to talk a bit about Games Workshop's new trade policy. We did our best to kind of understand it. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. If any of you have watched the mini wargaming video about it, it's like a half hour, 40. It's like 45 minutes long, I think, isn't it? Something like that. But yeah, so we're gonna go a bit over it because it's kind of a big deal. Basically, it's stores who are in a contract with Games Workshop, correct? So this doesn't affect all stores. Stores that are in a contract with Games Workshop are no longer
trade partners.
Yeah, are not allowed to sell individual bits. So if your store, one of the stores I go to on Cape Cod when I'm visiting my mom, they have these little tubs full of bits, and you used to be able to pick out whatever you want and get it for a quarter. If your store does something similar, they're not allowed to do that anymore if they are trade partners with them. What else?
I think they're still allowed to do it, but if they do it, then Games Workshop's not going to sell to them anymore.
Right, so they're going to stop doing it.
Yeah, they're basically forcing them to do it.
Yeah, so...
Like, you don't have to, but we're not going to sell to you anymore, so...
Yep, you pretty much have to. So, the next thing is, retailers aren't allowed to sell online anymore, correct? So, the only way you can get stuff online is directly through Games Workshop or eBay, if somebody's selling a used army, correct?
Yeah, that's been happening in America for a while, though. That you're not allowed to buy.
Right,
they don't have like carts and stuff. You gotta phone them up and make direct orders and stuff.
Yeah, that's what the war store is quite popular, and you have to like call them up, and it's just like an overall 20% discount or something like that. So that's not a big deal. But we've also basically. Oh, but here's the dick move, and tell me if this is wrong because this just sounded awful. Games Workshop won't be supplying the independent retail stores with all their products. I heard that they're no longer giving independent retailers the Herald of Khorne and Herald of Slaanesh models. You have to get them through either Games Workshop store or you have to get them directly online.
Yep.
That's legit? I'm not crazy?
No, that's legit, and almost all the new stuff goes straight to direct, and all goes straight to direct very quickly.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see when Tau is released. Like, what if they made the flyer like a direct order only thing? I mean, people love their flyers.
Yeah,
right?
I don't get it. Like, I don't really see the point, but I don't know the inner workings of how all those numbers work. But kind of seems like if the product's getting sold either way, Games Workshop's still making money. And now you're just making it harder for everyone else to get their hands on your models.
It's a matter of control, really, isn't it? They want to be able to control the sales here. I'm going to throw up something hilarious that Lexicanium Wiki posted the other day, and hopefully it will divert from the sadness. But yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Like, these stores, they've been loyal partners, and all of a sudden saying, hey, you're not getting all of the models now. We're going to keep some for ourselves, and we're going to sell it directly. And if they want it, just send them to our website. I mean, are we missing something here? Are we missing something? Like, chat room, are we missing something?
Can you not order it through your store? Like, I know I can order direct models through my store. Can you still do that?
No,
It's just they don't stock it in store, or you just can't.
yeah. From what I'm hearing, they just won't allow you to, or they won't. It's not that they won't allow you. They won't give them to stock it. So again, you probably won't see a Herald of Corn or a Herald of Slanesh. And to say you want it, you have to go to GW Direct.
They're also limiting the amount of direct stuff that they can even order a month. So they're taking the pool. There's like 800 models that most stores will be able to get. But then even when they do try and order them, there's only a certain amount they can order a month, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit crazy, and I'm interested to see what happens. And I checked their stocks as well. I was like, is this Games Workshop hurting? Like, is there a reason they need this kind of control? But it seemed like it was doing as well as it's always been. I mean, it's a little crazy. Is this a consequence of having codexes release every month? Maybe.
No.
No.
All the codex is probably for just even more money.
Yeah.
Keep you excited.
Yeah, I think it's really, like these local stores and online stores and everything, like, they have to be part of, getting people into the hobby, and now you're going and you're screwing them over and saying, well, all those people you got into the hobby, well, that is going to buy from us now.
Yeah, it's if anyone hasn't seen it, I believe it's on Mini Wargaming's website. It might still be circling around Tumblr and stuff like that. Perhaps we'll post it again, but it's really sad. Mini Wargaming is, they were the big video. They did a lot of tutorials. They actually did how to play videos. I actually learned to play War Machine through their videos when I was first getting interested into it, because they did a nice little tutorial, and they're a dedicated group of people to just tabletop and gaming in general, and their store is going out of business, and they're going to try to do their best to do more video stuff, but they're going under because of this trade policy.
Yeah, I think they're going to be all right. I mean, their videos are great. I'm a member of their vault, whatever it's called, so I'm paying a subscription fee there, and their videos are awesome. They put out lots of great quality stuff, and I think they're going to be all right there. It's a shame that their store is going under, but obviously that I'm kind of skeptical that it's all Games Workshop that's causing that. But.
Yeah, it's economy's tough, and when you think about it, these games have been around for a while. It's like, how long is it before you've played every army, you've played every scenario, and you're just kind of like, I don't need to buy any more miniatures. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I played every army, and I still want more.
And Seb's fresh, and meanwhile, I'm just like, I'll simmer at about 3K points, and I'll start playing some getting more involved with other games.
People are getting quite militant about it. I had quite a few messages on my Tumblr saying, calling me to boycott and things. We were talking about having people ideas of how people can deal with this. We were saying about eBay and keeping support in your local store, because that's the thing. Mini Wargaming is gone, but you don't want your local store to go, so you can't stop buying anything from them, because
right.
You don't want people holding right, left, and centre.
Right. So I mean, if you're upset at Games Workshop, we're not saying stop buying Warhammer. That's kind of the opposite of the show, and that would be hypocritical. But just be careful where you're buying stuff. I mean, I guess if you want them to kind of, I guess, see a small dent in their money, don't buy from Games Workshop retail stores.
Yeah, I saw someone say that if you're going to go for a boycotting route, do have set dates, do a boycott Games Workshop summer type of thing. Don't buy anything from this period to that period.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of an interesting idea. So it's kind of like, if people actually did that, they would see a definite dent in a certain period of time and be like, why was that? And kind of look into it.
Yeah.
People call for boycotts every single time Games Workshop does something, and it doesn't happen.
It's not going to happen, because it's not like boycotting Games Workshop. It's not like boycotting Capcom, because they for all those horrible sexual harassment stuff and employee suicide rates or whatever it is. You can not buy Resident Evil 6, or you can just go to GameStop and buy it used, and they don't see a single dime of that. The thing is, you could say, oh, let's boycott Games Workshop. We look at our armies, something we put so much effort into, so many memories we go through, and you're just like, I just don't have it in me to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've just not started.
Yeah. And Seb just started, and that's also another thing is, I've gotten a few friends into it now, and I would feel like a dick move if they're like, yeah, we got our armies, let's play, and it's like, nope, I'm not playing anymore. But yeah,
Maybe trying to avoid the website because they're trying to funnel everything into that website. So maybe still go to the Game Workshop stops and still goes to your local stores, but maybe not try to hit the website up so much.
definitely support local business. Maybe it's time to invest in some other games and stuff like that. There are a few good games to play to get your Warhammer fix. There's the Horus Heresy, which is one I need to pick up. I see that box in the store. It's like the huge one. It's like where you play like the ship and land battles and stuff like that of the actual Heresy. Warhammer Invasion's a good one. What is it? Chaos in the Old World is fantastic. It's when you play as the 4 Chaos Gods, and you just try to end the world. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So okay. So I think I'm rambling a bit, but there are other ways. Make sure you still support your local store. It's very important. If you're upset by this, try not to support GW too much directly. And does anyone else have anything else to say about that?
No, just stick to your local store and see what they think about it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a kind of bad thing to talk about on this subject because I'm never gonna stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
It doesn't matter what they do. I can't see myself stopping because I love 40k. It's just a part of my life. It's there. So if Games Workshop, did the most terrible thing in the world, I'm not going to be able to stop playing 40k. Maybe I'll stop buying from them, but it's not going to stop me playing 40k.
Alright, start a Kickstarter. Toxic needs to go to 40k rehab. If there isn't one, we'll make another Kickstarter for 40k rehab, and then we'll make another Kickstarter for Toxic to go there.
Yeah, 40k is a thing in its own. From the way I see it, is that it was invented by guys that don't even have anything to do with Games Workshop anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Games Workshop is a thing in itself. It really, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a touchy subject. Yep, definitely talk to your local store manager if you go to an independent retailer. Make sure you understand where they stand and how you can kind of help them, because they more likely than not are probably going to take some sort of a hit from this. So when does this policy actually go through? Is it June?
June 15th?
Yeah, I was about to say June 15th. So yeah, moving on, we'll talk about some other things. So kind of interesting. Games Workshop a few months ago, I think it was, they released some limited edition paints, but now these paints are they're good. So is this something? I mean, Toxic, you've been around for 2 months. Seb, not so much, but did you buy the limited edition paints since you're a painting studio guy?
No, I didn't even really look at them. To be honest, maybe I'll look at them now if I can just buy, them separately. But from what I can remember, they were a ridiculous price for the set.
Yeah.
And it comes like a fancy brush or something like that. Is that the one that I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I have the new paints up here too, which I believe they're for incredibly extreme golden demon highlights.
It just looks like the colors they have with white mixed in to make them brighter for the highlights.
Toxic, you know too much.
But they've got cool names, Toxic. Dawn Yellow. Does that not convince you? Fulgrim Pink.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I really like how Games Workshop sets out their paints. How they have the base and then the layers, and then they got like about 2 layers, and then maybe a dry brush, and it just makes it really simple for people that don't really know about painting and highlighting and washing and shading. You can just follow the steps, and you don't have to mix it. It's just you have your pots, and that's really something. And I commend them for that. But
yeah, and like you look at the armies and the actual codexes and stuff like that, and you're like, wow, these look good, and then you see the actual painters of heavy metal show their armies in White Dwarf, and you're like, oh my god, like they're so much better than anything you could ever imagine. And
But it was like when the demons, they had that really rather like cartoonish style, and then they re-released the new paint scheme, and it's a whole different kettle of fish.
yeah, definitely. So, Toxic, you can invest in these paints now.
I don't know. I might try one out just to see what it's all about.
Well, you're painting a Fulgrim, right? You need Fulgrim pink. You need it. It says Fulgrim right on the cover.
Wait, it's a pink? Fulgrim pink?
Yeah.
So what am I like highlighting my purple with that? Or?
Yeah. No, you're highlighting your edge. See, it says edge on it.
Yeah.
See, this thing I don't understand. You don't use all of them, are you?
Yeah,
Sorry, Joe, carry on.
I don't know. It's I'm looking at them now, and they kind of look like a really strange bunch of colors.
Yeah, actually, I was looking at Flayed One Flesh, and I could see myself using that for some things, especially undead, actually. But it's just like what is that, the Bamaroth? Is that what it says? Bamaroth Blue? Like, that's a blue, man.
Yeah. But like, once I'm painting red, am I meant to highlight with the orange one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe if it's Blood Angels, but
Yeah.
Corn doesn't highlight with... You don't highlight Corn with orange.
Yeah. Gauze Blaster Green. So you can paint over the tubes.
I don't know, like... Yeah, I would say that they're probably great paints, and they probably work really well for what they're designed to do. I'm not going to get them, but I really like Games Workshop paints. That's, something that I can say about Games Workshop.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else to say, Seb? Are you buying a Bamaroth Blue?
I don't think so. And as I said, I think it's a bit too disparate. I mean, I don't think you'd end up using them all. But yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I can maybe see two that I would actually use. I actually do like the Blue Horror as well.
Yeah, I don't really see any, but...
Yeah, I mostly see these and I'm like, man, these would work with my vampires, but, yeah.
I'm like, these would look good if I'm painting, like, cotton candy demons, but...
Maybe you should do a review, Toxic. You should buy all the paints and just try and find uses for them. Be like, these are the most useless things I've ever seen. Alright, so moving on, we got a tiny bit of rumors here about demons. Not demons, wow. Tyranids and Eldar. So let's go over these real quick. Hang on, I'm going to throw up our hammer logo so I can organize real quick. I need to come up with a better system for this stuff. I'm not going to lie.
Have a fourth person just doing the pitches.
Yeah, could do that, but that would require organizing a fourth person. Alright, so we got the Eldar. New flyer, that's pretty obvious. New Uber Wraithguard thingy, according to Seb.
Yeah, that's from Hastings. Yeah.
Yeah. What do we know about Uber Wraithguard thingy? Is it Uber? Is it Wraithguard? Is it a thingy?
It's an Uber Wraithguard thingy. It's a huge... Well, it's effectively almost like a Titan, as far as I understand. It does seem that there's going to be some kind of Uber thingy for each army, possibly. Like, there's the Tyranid Dominatrix, possibly. So, yeah, maybe an epic... Not an epic tiny, but epic large figure for each.
Do you think it's going to be for the new Apocalypse edition in the summer?
That is a distinct possibility, because I don't see how you would be using some of these crazy things in like any kind of normal points game.
Whoops, I messed that up. Okay, so the next thing is new Wraithguard, right? They're getting a new plastic kit. And here's the interesting thing, because I played a fair amount of Eldar in my time, is close combat Wraithguard. That seems pretty interesting to me, if I'm honest. I mean, because Wraithguard are probably my favorite unit in that entire book, and I don't think they really need a close combat option. I mean, Toxic, what do you think?
Yeah, I can agree. I kind of had the least amount of time on Eldar, but I still know them pretty well, and every time I kind of look at making a list for Eldar, Wraithguard, just an amazing unit, and I think they're even better in 6th edition.
Now, can I do my tinfoil hat conspiracy?
Go for it.
I got tinfoil hat. In fact, let me get my tinfoil hat for this conspiracy. We need it. That's now requirements. You all need tinfoil hats.
Can I have a tinfoil beanie?
You have a tinfoil beanie. Alright. every army's getting Terminators. Are they just going to give these Power Fists and Stormbolters? All of a sudden,
No.
Wraithguard are Terminators. They're going to Deep Strike. Just no.
No. Well, you look at what
there's a
Games
possibility.
Workshop's released, and all their armies are relatively varied, compared to everything. I don't think they would go and do something like that. So,
Are you sure? Are you?
come on, we start off this show with something really depressing. I'm trying to get us out of it, and you're coming up with they're just gonna make every army the same. Everyone gets Terminators and Space Marines.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you, Toxic.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, we have
No,
too
no,
much
just
fun. I do apologize. I do think we have too much fun, and we need to be stopped. But yeah. So upgraded jet bikes as well. So that's nice. And plastic Wraithguard. I'm assuming they're going to get a new plastic kit since yeah, they're going to get close
Yeah,
combat
that-
options.
And it also looks like there could be a whole load more rumours about to surface, like it did with the Tau. It just feels like, the dam's about to burst on the Elder. That's kind of what we've got for the minute. But with the Wraithguard, can you not just, with more options, could you have just more of a specifically Wraithguard kind of army? Because they seem to be making each army, you could make it more specific. Just
Yeah.
one aspect.
Yeah, I think we talked about in a previous episode how they're going to have special rules for each craft world. And what's the yellow and blue craft world? Toxic. What's the yellow and blue craft world?
Just like starting with I or L.
Yeah, that's all I know. But I know they're if they do specific rules, they would be they're the Wraithy thing
Okay.
going on. So yeah, we'll definitely try and keep on the loop for that. But we have a fair amount of Tyranid stuff too, and Toxic. I know you love Tyranids. So here we go.
They're my secret little army that I like.
They're your secret little army.
Yeah, I like them, and I don't know why, because it's
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they've also been one of my favorite armies just because I'm a huge sci-fi horror fan and stuff like that, and you look at Alien and all that stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to just go down the list of what we have, and you can pick it up. Tyranids have Terminator armor. Kidding. Kidding. Okay, so, alright, so Tyranids have Royal Court options. I'm kind of assuming it's going to be like Necrons, right? But with Necrons, it's interesting because it's like you think they're a command unit for a Royal Court, but you actually can divide them up to make them like unit champions for your warriors and stuff like that.
kind of like a Wolf Guard for Space Wolves.
Or Wolfguard for Space Wolves, yeah. Is this something that you think could be possible or be interesting? Champions for your Gaunts?
I don't know, wouldn't it have to kind of have a bit of a rewrite in the fluff? Because isn't the whole point that they all you stick within your synapse, so your squad leader is kind of like your hive tyrant, sending squads, sending your orders, synaptically, whatever.
Yeah, through brain power.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that to be well, now you got a sergeant and he bellows orders at you and tells you to go do stuff, and
Well, that could be interesting because wounds are removed from the front. It would be interesting for both the Tyranid player and the person out of it because he's trying to take out that synapse creature just to maybe do it, and then the Tyranid player is trying to keep him hidden within the unit so that he doesn't get taken out. It could be interesting. So
Terranid's going to get a personality upgrade, kind of like Necrons now. They've all got their own little personalities.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's something that Tyranid players are screaming for entirely, just because. I don't know. I always feel like if you're playing Tyranids, you're going in with a fluff mindset that I am playing the bad guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tyranids are kind of a hard thing, I find, when it comes to fluff, because I've done a fair few 40k campaigns, and they're always really hard to write in there because they have one goal. They don't have really, they just eat stuff and devour and take planets. They're really hard to write in there with all the other armies. They just do their own stuff.
Right. Okay. So point reduction on all the little bugs. Do you think that's something that needs to happen?
Yeah, compared to Honestly, yeah, probably. Compared to some of the other stuff that's pretty cheap, like now, like 9 points for a demon, they're pretty good. My gaunts cost me 10 points with all my upgrades that I put on them. So
Yeah.
it's like 200 points for a squad of 20 gaunts. That's pretty expensive. It's not saying that definitely needs to be done, but could work.
Yeah, it's and then also haven't we talked about how we kind of noticed that there have been points drops kind of overall? And I mean the other thing is apparently orcs are supposed to be getting some price drops or some point. I shouldn't say price drops. People might get excited. Point drops from orc boys. They're already like what 5 points a model.
Yeah, I think they're like 6 points, 5-6 points. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I want to say 6.
Cool, though. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's
the more points they take away, like the cheaper things are, the more money you have to spend to get your army.
See, I was trying to pull us out of this depression toxic, and you bring it right back in, saying how Games Workshop just wants us to buy more stuff.
Well, then maybe that we should just focus on the depression then.
Yeah, all right.
We just keep finding a way to get back there.
All right, so I guess there's several new bugs, like whatever. No one cares. No, okay, so
Dominatrix sounds quite cool though. That could be the new huge thing. She's kind of like the matron for the queen, which is kind of cool.
I totally forgot to
be huge.
Yeah, I forgot to put in the picture for that. Oops. But yeah, I mean, Toxic, you're huge Tyranid, or you were a huge Tyranid player. I mean, they got a lot of new models. Like, how many more do they need? I'm assuming that they're going to get a flyer. Let's assume that they're getting some sort of a flying bug.
Yeah, well, they have
that will look like a World War II.
The
plane.
Harpy now, so.
So.
And don't forget the evolution. They're turning into Pokemon.
Yes, yes. Okay, so that was next, but thanks, Seb.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I do apologize.
The ability to tailor your bugs and evolve them into being very specific or keeping them cheap and generalized. Now, I actually kind of see this in two ways, and I'm going to reference Chaos for both of this. 2 Chaos books ago, it was really cool because when you built your champion, you actually didn't purchase a Demon Prince. You started off with a Chaos character, and once you purchased about 100 points of upgrades for him, they're just saying, screw it, he's so powerful and so gifted. He's a whole new, he's a Demon Prince, because he's just so powerful now. I mean, is that something that we could possibly see it doing? Like, he starts off as, I don't know, what's the Gene Stealer?
What's
character?
The Gene Stealer?
What's the Gene Stealer character? The Broodlord?
Broodlord, yeah.
Like, what if he starts off as a Broodlord, and then you get, like, certain amount of points, like you get your Toxic Sacks, or your whatever adrenaline glands or whatever, and they're like, guess what? He has evolved to Hive Tyrant because he's level 16.
I don't know. It's personally, I think that method's a little bit convoluted, and I think it's better to stay away from that. But I can see the idea of it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll have like a roll that you do, and just based on a roll or how many guys you've killed or how much you've eaten.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking of. Is it going to be kind of like Gift of Mutation, where if whenever a character kills something, it exactly what you said. He eats them, he gets stronger, so then he becomes Popeye.
That would be cool if you could actually have him. Because it was one of the things on there. You might even having extra resources coming in that can't score. So maybe you could even munch them and turn them into a new thing. That'd be quite cool.
So they're getting zombies, kind of like Typhus.
And Typhus is a Terminator.
I know.
So it's
Hang on.
Terminators.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. Oh,
so
God.
we're all Terminators. Games Workshop is lovely, and we're all one.
I feel like for the blog now, I just need to like do like a Beautiful Mind thing where I have like newspaper articles cut out, and I'll just like try and find like Terminator spelled out, and I'll post it. I'll have all like the red string like attached to all the different articles and stuff like that, and like it's clear that all armies are getting Terminators. But no, I mean. It would be an interesting. I think that like the idea of eating, actually going around and being like, well, I don't mean to bring up Terminators, but Terminators are tasty, and that gives them a certain amount of upgrade or something. Like, what if you had to earn your upgrades? Like, you earn your adrenaline glands after a unit gets, 5 kills, and you don't actually upgrade your guys.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but I think usually the idea is that you've already devoured a planet, and then you get your upgrades, and then you go to the next battle. But I can kind of see that working, like kind of like a Dark Elder pain token. You kill one unit, now you got Feel No Pain. You kill another unit, now you got Furious Charge. Kill another unit, now you got Fearless. Kind of like how they work.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So, do you think you'll be picking up Tyranids again when this book's?
I'm going to be getting the Codex definitely because that's just what I do. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, so let's go down the list. I'll try not to make any more Pokemon jokes. I'll try so hard. Better ways to help close with the enemy. Oh yeah, and that was another thing. No transports, but apparently Tyranids will have unique deployment options.
That sounds awesome.
Do you think there's a chance that when they roll for deployment, that's just strictly what one side does, and then the Tyranid player rolls maybe his Warlord traits, and he gets to do his own deployment?
Yeah, they had some really awesome deployments and missions in the Battle Mission book that came out in 5th edition, and it kind of represented the Tyranids a bit better in the way that they deployed. Like, they had wave assaults and infestation where, X amount of guys were in this part of the board and X amount of guys were in that part of the board. So, it's kind of been done before, so it'll be interesting to see if they do actually bring that over into 6th edition.
Yep, and what we have with the notes right now, they're definitely saying, we definitely want this to feel like the Horde army now, compared to, because can Imperial Guard actually outnumber Tyranids?
Yeah.
Doesn't that actually is that weird fluff wise, or does that actually make sense? Where the Tyranids are like, oh shit, we're outnumbered, retreat.
You'd imagine a Tyranid could eat at least 2 or 3 guardmen himself, so maybe. But when you're saying about the deployment, how do they actually deploy from the hive ship? Do they just fired out random sphincters on the ship? So it would be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, definitely, because in the notes it definitely says they definitely want to make Tyranids feel like they are the overwhelming army again. So, points drops and all that stuff, maybe they're going to literally be as cheap as Skaven Slaves, which are 2 points a model.
Wow.
So, maybe...
Yeah, that's going to be pretty crazy. They'd have to kind of nerf the gaunts a little bit there.
Yeah.
Considering I've had 20 Homogorns take out 10 Terminators in Assault, and if you're now looking at 2 points a model, that's...
That's pretty crazy, but I mean, isn't that the beauty of playing Tyranids? You field it and then make just the look on your opponent's face, am I going to have enough, shots and 5 turns of shooting to even kill all that?
It is. That is the fun part when you're just bringing out squads of gaunts and your opponent's just his jaw is just dropping every time you bring out another unit.
Right. Okay. So continuing down the list, we have Carnifexes are elites and heavy support. I don't know if they were in the new codex, but I think in the last codex they were both elites and heavy support choices.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think they're just heavy now, but that could be something depending on what other slots that you take. If you take X unit in this choice, your Carnifex now becomes an elite. Or maybe it depends on how you gear them up.
Yeah, it says in Elite and Heavy Support they have different options, so I almost wonder if the Heavy Support choice are going to be the gun Carnifexes, or the Elites are going to be the melee ones.
Yeah, kind of like how you have Blood Angels, they have Dreadnoughts and Troops, Elites and Heavy Support choices, and they're all different.
Right. Okay, so it says, while broods are the same cost as the current codex, additional Termagants are dirt cheap. Dirt cheap, so 2 points a model, I wonder. Rippers are going to be cheaper. The Ripper swarms Are those kind of like scarab swarms? Like you buy a box of gaunts and you get a couple of Ripper bases?
I think so. Yeah, and I think if you buy warriors, you get different types of rippers, and I think it depends. From what I can remember when I was collecting Tyranids, it would kind of depend on what box you brought. That would always kind of come with a different looking a ripper. Like some would have kind of like a spine fist, and some would look a little bit different.
Right. So, reading down here, and we talk about how the general is affecting your army a bit more. Can go either can. I guess the Bugzilla list is coming back, which is where you just take Carnifexes and Hive Tyrants and they count as scoring. So I wonder if they're going to have a couple more HQ options. And it's like if you take a Hive Tyrant, Carnifexes become scoring choices. Take a Broodlord or whatever. They're regular elites. I mean, do you see it happening, Toxic? They didn't really do much for demons.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm thinking if they do something, maybe it'll be like an upgrade to your Hive Tyrant, depending on how he likes to, lead his forces. Maybe it's kind of difficult to say because Carnifex as a troop is kind of an insane idea to think about. It's because they're Carnifexes.
Yeah, definitely. If Seb, I mean, fluff-wise, Tyrann's having personality. The commander being like, his Hive Tyrant, sitting there, he's like, I feel like taking 12 Gaunts and then 5 Ripper Swarm bases, and I will deep strike them behind the Guardsmen lines, and I will smoke this fancy cigar.
Well, yeah, he's sitting there with his royal court now.
Yeah, his royal court.
His advisor.
Yeah, no, his advisors just tell him how they're going to cook the humans, right?
But do they have any specific characters? I wouldn't be surprised if there were some now, because they do seem to have specifics. It's just like all the Great Demons have got their specific Great Demons.
Well, they have the One-Eye Terror or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah. One-Eye.
Yeah, Tyranids. Yeah, they still got Old One-Eye. They have Doom of Melantai, Parasect. Some
Parasect, like Pokemon.
No, I kind of can't think of it. Something or other.
Hilton?
Basically, he goes around and makes rippers spawn out of people or something like crazy like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I think they have a couple of characters, but I don't know if they actually got personality. I think like the whole thing for Doom Melantai, the reason why he has that is because he destroyed like a craftboard Melantai or something like that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
So I think like their names have been given to them by other armies. It's not like their own name that they
Yeah.
Yeah. Old One-Eye doesn't really sound Tyranid.
You don't want to know how he got that one eye. But I mean, is this something? I mean, we use the word personality. Do you see more named characters, and maybe one of them's a Carnifex character?
Well, Old One-Eye is a Carnifex character.
Is he? I thought he was like a Zornthrope or something. Maybe I'm just...
Doom Melantai, Zoanthrope, Old One-Eye. There used to be a one that's called like the Red Devourer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I can see it. It's, and we're kind of talking about this in one of our shows when we're saying like Games Workshop likes you to buy their characters. So maybe they will bring out some more characters for Tyranid so you can buy some more characters from them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Alright, so let's move down the list. I wasn't expecting this to go so in depth, but it's...
I'm glad we got back to the money, though.
Yeah, it's all for the money. The goal is big text field speaking. Grades and options. Alright, so basically, yeah, that was the last kind of thing we'll mention. But yeah, so Tyranids. And last thing we'll kind of move on to is something where it's kind of an interesting rumor that's been popping up. But a special codex that doesn't belong to one particular army, but belongs to all of them. I'm talking allies. A codex strictly for allies. I mean, we haven't heard a lot about the Kroot or anything like that. In fact, I don't think we've seen a single screenshot of Kroot.
I'd like to say that I mentioned this last episode.
Oh, did you? Yes, you did.
Yeah, when
actually.
we didn't see the Kroot, and I'm like, wonder if they do an allied codex that has like Kroot, and Kroot can join
All right, Toxic.
different armies.
You need to get a tinfoil hat. You need Deny the Witch against Games Workshop.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be token crew in the with the Tau, but they're heavily going to be in the allies.
Yep. So I mean, there's not a whole lot saying about it. I mean, I think it was so far the rumors we had, it was a bit more for Xenos allies. But I mean, I guess let's speculate on this. I mean, Seb, what do you see from a fluff standpoint? What are some?
I'm going to hope that they suggest you put some kind of good reason with it, because like obviously Elder Pirates and Eldars might work together in extreme situations, but obviously Tau and Crew are going to work together fine. But if you had Traitor Guardsmen and Guardsmen, because I think Renegade Guardsmen might be one of the allies, that'd be interesting having them with good guys. But yeah, it's interesting. I've just bought the Chaos Spaceman Codex for allies, and it looks like I might buy another one.
Wouldn't that be funny? Like before the game starts, you have to you have to give your opponent a reason that your army's like allied. Like it's just part of the rules. If your opponent doesn't like it, they'd be like, no.
And then it counts as your allied forces being destroyed immediately.
Or you have like a third person to judge it, and like the best flop just gets a victory point right off the start.
No, you have to buy an app that judges it.
Yeah.
You pay. Oh, that's. But honestly, I think Renegade Guardsmen, because I mean, immediately, I think when 6th edition came out, people were saying, yes, I can finally take Traitor Guard with it, but they're just kind of guardsmen. It's not really anything interesting. I mean, I think it would be cool if they represented the some of the interesting alliances. Like apparently how Blood Angels and Necrons are good friends now. But didn't they also mention, this is the one thing that I'm kind of speculating against it, is when we talked about the Eldar, didn't they say there were specific rules going to be placed in for Dark Eldar?
It'll probably be in the Allied Codex. Allied Codex, just so you have to buy it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that I think would be pretty cool. I haven't really thought too much about allies yet. I do have some Ultramarines kind of in progress. A lot of people probably frowned, and they're like, "I hate this show." But
no hate to any army. Like, I'm not standing for it. Like you can like them or not like them, but there's no need to be. Yeah. So you go for the Ultramarines, mate.
I will wear that proud. But Inquisition ally, maybe. What if they had something like Death Watch? Like you have a small force of Death Watch in your army.
Sweet.
I think they did at one point. There was like some rules for them, maybe in a White Dwarf or something like that. I remember seeing them somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So that'd be cool to kind of bring them back and have like a Death Watch squad in your army.
Yeah. Maybe this is a way for them saying sorry, because I mean, one of the old codexes I read and I become kind of sad is 2 Chaos codexes ago. Because they actually had individual rules for all the legions you wanted to play. Like if you're Iron Warriors, you got a Warsmith and extra heavy support choice, and you got a couple extra upgrades. If you were Word Bearers, you had like better demon summoning and stuff like that. I mean, and then they eventually had old codexes, like the Catechins, for example. Do you think Catechins could be a whole separate ally thing? Do you think this could possibly be a way that they're trying to bring back some of those old?
Yeah, it's hard to say about the Catechans because they do have the special characters and named characters still in the Imperial Guard Codex. But I think it could be a way, like what about the old like Genestealer cults and stuff like that?
Right. So yeah, we'll try and keep an ear out for that. That's still strictly speculation. It's been a rumor.
Yeah. Because that was a big thing when it came out that Tyranids didn't get allies. People were like, well, what about Genestealer cults?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You would imagine that each race and each army gets one, so everyone has to buy it.
Yeah, pretty much. And hey, you know what? I wouldn't. I think we do talk. We do like the idea of supplement books, just not Death from the Skies.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like Savage is trying to get me to let him buy it. He says he just wants to know what's in there. I'm
So
like,
so let him do it. Let him do it.
and
Maybe
ruin the integrity of our show.
Dude, Savage is not a part of our oh well, Battle
Well,
Bros.
Battle Bros, yeah. So
Well, you guys can do a full-on review, and he can make a burning video after if he doesn't like it.
yeah.
So
Look, please draw the line at book burning. That's just wrong.
but it's Death from the Skies. They already drew it. So yeah, we'll try and keep up to date on that. So couple announcements, I guess, for Dice Troop is Seb, are we doing Fluff Filler? Do we know anything yet?
Well, we're still in talks, but we're looking like we're going to be doing a 2 weekly fluff talk in the 2 weeks in between Black Vault, possibly starting next Wednesday or Thursday, and talking about successor chapters. So there'll be a proper post about that once Brett and I. This is Brett's baby. I'm just sort of speaking about it, but yeah. So think about what successor things you might want us to talk about, and yeah, get involved. That's coming maybe next week.
Maybe next week, so we can safely assume nothing's going to happen this Wednesday.
Not this Wednesday, no.
All right, and what's in Black Vault should be in 3 weeks again?
So it'd be 4 weeks from last week, so 3 weeks time, and looking at the second part of the Burn Angels.
All right,
which is a bit better, so a bit more excitement.
and Toxic, Battle Bros Friday.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're talking about?
Big one that I want to say. I don't know how relevant this is going to be because I don't know when this is going to be posted. But today is the second lunchtime of Monday. If this comes out after today, then remember that next Monday will be the third one. So heads up about that.
Right. And Blood Bowl League is going pretty well. I'm facing Brett. I'm going to crush him.
Yeah. Big thanks for everyone in that, getting your games done.
Yeah.
That's been really fun. I just want to throw it out there to Bavis, who won 7-0 against
who?
Jens and his assassins.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How do you?
He's trying to get on. I'm trying to get him onto Tumblr so everyone can meet him.
Oh wow, that's insane. I hope Jens is all right. But yeah. Are you still doing your interesting sample model thing for toxic painting?
Yeah, as of now, I'm still doing that. So it's $5. Any army, it'll be a random model. The idea is just so you can get a sample of my work for the army and the color scheme that you want. Yeah. So
And-
$5.
Yeah, and I have to say, I just got my my Dark Angels that were painted by Toxic Painting. Absolutely in love with them. I have no complaints about it. It's beautiful, and I'm excited to get more. In fact, I'm like addicted now. But yeah. Anything else in progress, Toxic, that you want to speak of?
As soon as we end the show, I'm gonna think of something. But no, I'm just gonna be putting more tactic stuff. Battle Bros is still gonna be there. Send us stuff about that. Questions, army lists. Send us your army lists. We really want to go over army lists. And that's about it.
All right, so I'll say a few things. First off is we are now actually on Facebook. Dice Troop is now on Facebook, and we invite you to like us. Hopefully this is the exact link. We are trying to get all this stuff on there. Send the army list to Tactician Toxic, or you can send it to Dice Troop. But hopefully that'll be the proper link for our Facebook group. So like us on there, and then also we run everything on donations. So if you like what we do, go to our Tumblr page, and there should be a donate button on the bottom. Just hit donate. Donate us $1, $2. Anything you can spare is appreciated. It just helps, lighten up the burden of costs and stuff like that. Like I need to actually renew XSplit in probably by the time Black Vault comes up, so that's another $30. I like it. I kind of wish we had a few more scenes to work with, but no, I'll definitely probably resubscribe to that. But yeah, we got a very very nice donation on this weekend, $10, which is nice. So yeah, thank you to anyone who's donated to us already, and I think that's it. And we will see you next Monday. We'll probably be back, chat room.